Hello everyone, I'm Kalesiana Sedu and metric number 270861. Today we're going to present our assignment 2 STIA2024 data structure and algorithms. And I'm going to present login form.java class, which is created to enter username and password and log into our medical consultation system. We already created the JFrame, which is already filled with JLabel, text field, JButton, everything by the form. So when we see the source code, there is already auto-generated coding here. This all is auto-generated coding. For the username and password, we declare a string username, same goes to string password, and initialize as admin, same goes to password also, which is initialized as admin. We go to the login button action form, which is when we click on this button, it will compile this coding. For the string username, we declare a string username here equals to username field dot get text. We will get from the text. We will get the text from here. Okay. For the password, also the same. Password field dot get text. Here it is. We'll get text from here. When we'll enter the login button, if the user name is empty or the password is empty, one of that is empty, there is a message dialog which is filled with fill in the form properly or fill in the form properly and error. Okay. Else, if the username is not empty and the password is not empty, it will go here, perform this coding, which is the username is equals to username which is initialized as admin, same goes to, and the password is equals to the password which is declared here as admin. Okay. If the text here which is same as username which is admin and also the password which is admin, it will go it will perform new main form dot set visible to. It will go here. Then dispose. Else the username is not equals to the username which is initialized as admin and the password is not equals to password which is initialized as admin also. It will show a message dialog which is failed to login error.
So now we're in the MedInfo class, and this class implements a realizable interface. It's just because we want to be able to store this object into the file or the text file in this case. So this class is intended to store all the information being entered by the user through the screen, and the information starting from disease ID, name, causes, symptom, treatments, medication, and this one is the constructor. And for this one, all these methods are a bunch of getters and setters to basically retrieve the information or modify some data. So now we're in our interface. Here we have the title, medical consultation system. We have the fields here for the user to fill in, and we have the submit button, update button, delete. So once the user completely fields in the form and click the submit button, the data will be shown here in the table. So in this table, if you click one of the rows, and the information will be retrieved, and you can easily update the information. And you also can delete by selecting the row. Now we have the about label here. If we click it, it will show something. So we have the array list here, medinfos, called medinfos. And so this medinfos array list is basically intended to store all the objects, or in this case the object is medinfo. And so once the application is started, the first thing the application will be called here is will be populate array list will be called. So in this method we have try catch, so file input stream. So basically we want to be able to retrieve the objects that are stored in this text file. So this is the logic to retrieve all the files. So boolean is end of file is set to false. So while it's not on the end of file, we will add the medinfo that is stored in the med database text file into the medinfo's array list. So if we arrive at the end of file, the exception will be raised and it will be called in by this one, our exception. So the end of file is set to true. Now we break out of the loop, and now we close all the input stream. So we basically iterating through the list, or in this case array list. So we want to show all the information that is stored in each object into the table. And after set data to file, we have the file output stream. So we basically want to store or to save the files into the med database text file. And we have the for loop here. So we basically still iterating through the list. So int I is 0, I is less than the size of the array list, and I plus plus, and this one is we basically write each object into the med database text file, and this medinfos.get will retrieve the medinfo object. Finally, we close all the output stream. So if the exception arises, it will be called here, and it will show the dialog or the J option pane to indicate that you have an exception. So in this method will be used after the user enters the information. I mean, like after the user submits or updates the form. So all the fields, the text fields, will be removed.
In these codes, we have submit button action perform. The function submit button action perform is to submit and save the data that have been entered by the user. And we create an object medinfo and then add the medinfo into the list. After that, the data will be displayed on table. For update button action perform is to update any list of data. We get the selected index from table and we retrieve the MetInfo object from list by calling get method. After that, we call set method from MetInfo object to update the data. Finally, the data will be displayed on table. And then for delete button action performed is to delete any of data that we want to delete from the list. For JTable mouse click to select any of data from the table that have been entered by the user to update or delete. And then about label mouse click. When it is clicked, it will show the dialog pane about the list name and method numbers of our group.